See now, black people, sad to say it, but I'm gonna have to say it, we gotta step up. I'm saying this right now, today, because it's very imperative, like I just said, imperative, that we just paid attention to what just happened this past weekend at the Revolt Summit in Atlanta, Georgia, that took place from the 12th to the 15th. And it's actually a really good, conversation that we need to spark right now, because it seems to be the norm, and it seems to be the ideology of that we don't know how to get past certain things in life and become higher than we are supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? This is Stef Saucy talk by your boy DJ Stef Saucy. So I start off this conversation letting you know that I really appreciated this convo they had this past weekend in Atlanta. Of course, Revolt, we all know Diddy is running that. And, I was very shocked to see some of the conversations, talked about. We had music people there, celebrities, former campaign people. All right, just to name a few, we had P from Quality Control, T.I. Also, we had Candace Owens. And I'm missing a bunch of few other people, influential people in our society. So I think it was really key to, actually, hear something like this. It gives us some motivation, coming up. You know what I mean? And today I'm going to address hip hop and politics, of course, but in a sense that it's gonna be a broad view of how I'm looking at it today, right? Because we gotta talk about education, voting, all right, and also jobs in society today for minorities, especially like I mentioned in today, Black Americans, all right. So it's very important. I'm thinking about a time, right? We talk about the 13th Amendment, abolishing slavery, 14th Amendment, 15th Amendment, giving us the right to vote. And that wasn't really evident. Obviously the Bill of Rights came at a great time, right, for African Americans. But I'm thinking about the Civil War, and after the Civil War, how black people, were basically laborers that this country needed, and that how they owned land and stuff like that. So post Civil War, we're thinking to ourselves, okay, why hasn't anything changed? And then we bring ourselves fast forward into the 20th century, 1920s, the roaring 20s, close to the Great Depression. Then we had the 40s, the 50s, radio became alive, and had Amos and Andy's demonstrating blackface, and not too many black announcers during that time. And then you look at the 60s, Jim Crow segregation laws was legal. Like, this shit was fucking legal, man. And I'm thinking about people being lynched from trees, from bridges, in front of churches. And I'm saying to myself, they did all that, passing laws for them, for our people, to still be, still be put in a situation of trouble, right? We've been through it all, being hosed at, obviously, cops brutally, messing with black folks and making life hard, right? Black people didn't even have the chance to read. Because you know what? They wanted to the mind to stay enslaved, all right, for black people. So nowadays, I'm going to do the right thing and be proactive and read, all right? I've been reading a lot lately, not only about my culture, but about different things in life. So I think it's very important that I am actually reading. All right, so that's just one part of what I just want to just put out there, just to let people know and remind ourselves about our history. And very crucial that, people like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. from Atlanta, Georgia, was put on this earth for a reason. I posted on my Instagram, if you follow me, It's Saucy fan page on Instagram. 50 something years ago, when he made the I Have a Dream speech, and still it is truly, a sacred, speech that I think we take for granted sometimes. How we have a lot of things nowadays, not only because of that speech, but because of the perseverance and obviously his bravery just to be the man he was. He says a man is not it's not where a man stands in, great times, but also in hardship too. So right now we are in a hard time. All right, not economically, obviously, but politically, socially too, by the way, because we still don't get it, I think, nowadays. And I think a guy like T.I., I was very surprised on what he had to say this past weekend at the Revolt Summit. He's saying our culture is our leverage, right? So if we're using our culture in society to give us a seat at the table, as Killer Mike would say, but at the end of the day, the almighty dollar is always speaking for itself, right? So our money, obviously is put in a position of control by the government, right? Locally, state, and federal. So I think, our culture, man, it really means a lot to this country. I mean, you think about what Black Americans have done, you know, just coming to this country, paving the way, and obviously minimum wage labor, not even, man, almost dirt cheap labor that people had to do coming up in this country, man. And to see, people really engaging in conversation at this Revolt Summit was actually, pretty interesting, man. Because when you talk about education, right? A lot of people are saying that the education in our school system nowadays is like slavery, right? Some of the schools are broken down. They're teaching us the certain types of history for Black Americans, but what more are they missing, right? They're missing a few things, obviously, in those history textbooks. And then nowadays, when you show up in a class and people don't even know the antebellum era, they don't know 3/5 Amendment, they don't know no taxation without representation. It's really sad, man. The public school system is very corrupt, like they always say, and there needs to be a change. Obviously, they want you to do the bare minimum in middle school, high school, and all those years of school. But now, as a college student, I'm starting to realize, like, damn, I really missed out on a lot of stuff. And I don't blame that on my teachers, but obviously, the school system, obviously, they do what they have to do. So, education is very important, I think. There's a difference between educating yourself and schooling yourself. So, because now you're schooling yourself, going to school every day, learning, right? We all want to become something, be inspired by something. And it's just like, they're not giving us the resource. And I think it's upon ourselves to do the research. And I think that was one of the main things in the Revolt Summit speech by Killer Mike, saying, doing the research, man. All right? We don't want you to be not able to understand what is going on today in our politics. All right, but no, not everyone's a politician. All right, but it's very key that you understand certain things that's going on in society today. All right, so I just want to bring up one part where Killer Mike said something. Now this was key because I think that people really, really respect this guy, and I think he really does have a point. And he said, what you cannot do is argue of who is the better master. All right, so when he's talking about master, he's insinuating our presidents right now. Whether you a Democrat or Republican, we're all based on the premise of for the people, right? You got to come to these people in power with a plan. Include Black people and stuff. That's what he's trying to say. And I couldn't believe what he said. How many people are part of this country for African Americans percentage wise? I said 15%. I said, whoa. I might have to look that up. That's pretty low. Black Americans make 15% of this population. So you're telling me that obviously we're one of the lowest counts of populations, and still we seem to don't understand in hindsight the resemblance of our culture from the past till now. We're still stuck in a situation where people don't want to pursue certain jobs and be, proactive and knowledgeable about shit nowadays, man. I said, wow, that's crazy right now. And I just had to sit here and listen to what he was saying, like the whole video, right? Because sometimes, Instagram shows the clips, about 58 seconds long. So I watched the whole 6-minute videos on what Killer Mike had to say. And I give it to him. Public speaking is not an easy job, but to public speak and actually make me want to think about something and actually believe in what he was saying was crazy. And I said, wow, this guy is something else. All right. So I definitely got to address that part of the situation. The next part of the video was Candace Owens, all right, former 2016 Trump campaign advisor. She says obviously she goes for Donald Trump, right? She's in for him. Before she used to be a liberal, now she's a conservative. So, and then she talks about how Donald Trump is helping out the black community, putting in billions in low-end zone projects. And then T.I.'s like, okay, he's doing that, but at the same time, we all know why these guys are bringing in billions to these communities, to put big corporations there so they can get the lower end of the tax break and still have gentrification all over the city in the community. Same thing with Amazon when they fucking try to come over here. You remember that? Earlier this year, Amazon tried to come over here, say they will provide about 20,000 jobs, $100,000 salary, but at the same time, okay, let's not forget about these neighborhoods, Long Island City, Brooklyn, Queens. Rent, it's going to go up. It's going to shoot right up. And all those people that work day in and day out just to make ends meet, to pay for their jobs, to pay for their bills, gonna probably have to get kicked out because of a company like Amazon coming in. See, but you gotta look at it from two perspectives. Yes, it's gonna bring in millions and billions of money into the New York economy, right? That's what we want. We want to be very well off of big corporations' success, and we want to be on the end receiving of that. So it's two ways to look at it, man. And I think it's tough. It's tough to really say. I would have liked them to come over, but at the same time, other people, might have been hurt by it. But they're no longer here, and we just lost out on a bunch of millions. Obviously, we can't project the amount of money was coming to New York, but it was pretty evident that, big corporations, when they come to certain cities, they request so much, but at the end of the day, what is it doing for the people? You're giving them jobs, but what about the other people, the middleman in between that, man? So that was one issue that T.I. and Candace Owens were talking about, because obviously, Trump. We think about the amount of money he's made and about his personality, his character, going towards black people. I love the blacks. Like we're just some peasant or some animal or something like that. All right, we get it. He's an asshole. All right, but when he says something and if you really need help doing something, I'm pretty sure he does it. All right, so there was one point when he said, "When you say make America great again, which period are you talking about? You're making light of the enslavement of people that look like us." That was pretty deep by T.I. responding to Candace Owens, because they got into a heated conversation. All right, because there's many periods of America that we experienced. We experienced the crack era. We experienced when people couldn't vote. And also, we experienced a time when people were hanging from trees, as I mentioned earlier. So this is not conversations that are just new. They're just coming out of the blue. But this is real shit. All right, and I can't express this enough, how people are just not in the same mind frame as these people, because they've been through it all. They see certain things, and I think that we're in a position now where people, man, just be knowledgeable and act upon situations that we're trying to control, right? We need more music execs. Killer Mike says we need more government officials. All right, he said we need to be 15% of that, so very important. I think the Revolt summit this past weekend, if you didn't take anything away from it, this is what I was trying to say. All right, I'm sure it's probably a few things that I missed, but I really came down on the real key issues, and that's what Stef Saucy Talk is all about. Taking care of those fucking controversial issues. All right, I'm not doing this for clout, none like that. This is what I do. All right, so I want to leave you with a message that, as an African American, as a minority, if you're watching this video, or even if you're a Caucasian person watching this video, it's imperative, I'm going to say that again, that you make your situation work for you. I was told by an OG, don't let work you, but don't let the work take control of you. You got to work your way to make the work seem easier for you. So let's just not act like we ain't got shit to show forth, black people. We got to do better, man. I'm going to say that again. We got to do better. And go watch it, the video, Revolt TV, all right? And if you didn't check it out, it's there. It's available. And you let me know what you think. Are we still in the past, or are we moving towards the future? I don't know what the future holds for us. I just know that this is a key issue for a key race of people that seem to still don't get it. We got to understand this, all right? All right, all those big companies, all right, are part of Wall Street. Some of us can't even say that we have stake in it. So it's very important that we get involved in that shit too, by the way, man. Take it from your boy first, all right? This is Stef Saucy Talk with your boy Stef Saucy.